know, when you take the stand, you get sworn in. Is there any uncertainty on that? You know what it means to take an oath? Huh? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. You understand the contents of what you testify? You don't understand that? Huh?
If you don't, ask. Now.
Okay. It's an oath, guys, and I presume we're all religious. If we're not, you don't have to. We've got a constitution. But we're all religious, am I correct? Huh?
Yes.
You're under oath. You might not get caught out now, but someday we will need to go and justify. Okay? Once again, if you lie under oath and you get caught out, you can actually go to jail. Any uncertainty about that? Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to time each student 10 to 15 minutes. And remember, I'm marking you on your conduct report, assignment 2. Alright. When a student is standing here, please keep quiet and respect the student. And try to learn from what is happening here. Alright. Okay.
Yeah. Now, can you give me a brief background of why you removed this child?
I removed the child because the biological father of the child, whom is Mr. Frank Luru, had a complaint that the child Bonnie, who's 6 years old, might be sexually abused.
So when you say might, why do you say might?
Because it's not yet confirmed.
So why did you remove the child?
I removed the child based on the allegations so that he can investigate the case in detail.
Okay. Now tell me, you obviously qualified social work, am I correct?
Yes.
And you deal a lot with the Children's Act.
Yes.
What's the best interest of the child in terms of Section 7 that needs to be considered?
The best interest of the child according to Section 7.
Yes.
According to Section 7, the best interest of the child is that the child needs to be protected against any physical, emotional harm, abuse, neglect, exploitation, or exposure to violence.
No, I do not agree with you. In terms of Section 7, subsection K as well, don't you think the child needs to remain in a stable environment?
Yes, you need to remain in a civil environment when it is good to do so. But currently, the child's situation is not allowing the child to be in the situation that the father alleged.
Tell me, when you remove the child, where's the child now?
The child currently is at Children's Home at Jacaranda, number 5 Smith Street at Potchefstroom.
What? Potchefstroom?
Yes.
How far is that away from Vanderbilt?
I'm not sure about the kilometers. I'm not sure about the kilometers, how far is it from?
So you thought it was to remove a child, well, plus minus 90 kilometers away from his parents, in a situation where he doesn't know?
Yes, if it's in the best interest of the child.
Explain to the court what exactly is the best interest of the child. You remove him from his school, his family, and put him in a strange place where no one even can visit him.
The best interest of the child is when the child is in a safe place of care.
Okay. What's the general principles in terms of Section 6? I want to go back to that. Respect, promote, protect. Is that correct? I'll tell you that is. To look at the best interest, fairly equality, and to avoid, prevent unfair discrimination. Do you agree with it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll put it to you as well. It's not in the child's best interest to remove him and take him out of his comforter. Would you agree with me?
According to my Children's Act, Section 150, subsection 1, paragraph F, it does give me the grounds to remove the child. If the child is in need of care and protection, if the child lives or is exposed to circumstances which may seriously harm the physical, the mental and social well-being of the child.
Okay. So which convincing, compelling circumstances did you see?
The biological father is complaining about, he's suspecting that the child might be sexually abused by Mr. John Smith, of who is a boyfriend of biological mother, Ms. Ado. So the biological father discovered that Bonnie, a 6-year-old boy, developed a Russian illness. Then he decided, he thinks that the child might be exposed to sexual abuse.
Okay. Now, I presume the child was taken for medical examinations, am I correct?
Yes.
And you've noted in the J88 as well that there's no sign of penetration.
Yes.
So you still consider the threat imminent?
The child was taken to the doctor for examination, and the doctor did agree that the child has developed a rash, but no sign of penetration. So to remove a child is just to get a further investigation on the case.
Okay. And both the child and my client's rights?
Pardon, sir?
The child and my client's rights? They're not taken into regard?
Not that they are not taken into regard, but at the moment the child's best interest are the most important ones.
No, I disagree with you. Now I've noticed you've completed this report as well. Do you have a copy of your report with you?
Mr. Dlamini, please answer the question.
Yes.
When did this incident occur?
The incident occurred on the 25th of March 2016.
When did you remove the child?
I removed the child the very same day, the 25th of March 2016.
Now tell me, are you sure the incident only occurred on the 25th?
Yes, sir.
Now it's my client's understanding and my instruction that this incident occurred more than 2 weeks ago.
I approached my office on the 25th.
So the incident did not occur on the 25th.
Not that I know of, because Mr. Frank approached the office on the 26th. That's when I became aware of the case.
Okay, but that wasn't my question. So you're not listening to what I'm saying. When did the incident occur?
I'm not sure when did the incident occur.
So if I tell you it's at least 2 months prior to the complainant coming to you, would you agree?
I don't know about that. What I know is that Mr. Smith approached the office on the 25th of March 2016.
But you're also not in a position to say yes or no. Well, I'll refer you to J88. What's the date on the J88?
The date on J88, it doesn't have a date actually, J88.
Okay, so it's incomplete as well. Okay. I'll proceed to a new point. Once let's also get this actually straight and correct, first of all. once you're looking at removing a child, why did you place the child in a place of safety? What was the factors that you considered?
I consider the fact that the biological father, Mr. Frank, is complaining about the rush on Bonnie's anus, and that Ms. Addo is also accusing his ex-husband that he might be the one sexually abusing the child. So to investigate the case further, I had to remove the child because both parents are accusing each other about the child's.
Any alternative family members you could have considered?
No.
Why not?
Please answer the question, Ms. Dominique.
I think it will be best if the child be taken to a children's home, not to any alternative care.
Why is that, Ms. Dominique?
You need time to think.
Because there are no families that I was told of that Mr. Bonnie had, Mr. Frank had his family or Ms. Addo had his family around.
So you didn't do a proper investigation.
I need to do an investigation about that.
So you overreacted when you removed this child.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, guys, quickly. Before we call the next
Well
one.
done. I mean, you did good
Yeah.
for a first time.
Yeah.
Give her a round of applause. Mr. Van der Berg, say whatever you want to say, but if you could just highlight one strength and one weakness of each student, that would be great.
Okay. Quickly, with regards to admitting you didn't do a proper investigation. You can't do that. Okay. I basically just won my argument.
Do you understand what Mr. Van der Berg is talking about now, guys? At the end, he basically gave a hypothetical question. He said, so you basically didn't do your job right, and Lamini said yes. All right.
Okay, so you admitted not doing your job right. Correct. For me. It's not for the job. Okay. What you guys also notice is the magistrate on several occasions said, please answer the question. And what I would do is as well, you need time to think. Why do I say that? Huh? Not only that, it's recorded. When it goes to a judge in the High Court, he doesn't know that there was a time lapse unless I say it. Okay? Because he reads the document. He doesn't listen to the evidence. It gets stuck. So I tell him, you need time to think. He can see, okay, well, this witness took her or his time. Okay.
One strength, one weakness.
Strength, you're confident. You testified well. Okay. Only weakness is do not admit that you didn't do a proper job. Okay.
Good.
You did very well.
Next one, Kuduka.
Morning, ma'am, how are you?
Good things in yourself.
Very well. Now, briefly, you have your documents in front of you.
I do.
In terms of which form did you remove this child or your report?
I removed the child with the form 36.
Really? Please indicate where that's indicated.
That'll be on page 2.
So you, in your infinite wisdom, decided to design your own form.
No, sir.
Not. I'll quickly refer you to form 36. If I may approach the witness room,
You may.
let's have a look at that. Can you look at your headings? Does that even look the same?
It does.
Without being to differ. Will you also have a look at your, can you at least give me your file number or the court's file number and which association you're with?
Our registration number.
No, your association or your file number. I'll just put it to you again. You've fabricated your own document and that's why it's not there. You have a look on here. There's ample space for it. Can you explain to the court why it's not there? You need time to think.
May I see
No.
the cover?
Right, right. So many. I'll take your silence that you admit what I'm just saying. Okay. I'll take you quickly through your document in your introduction. Second paragraph, last sentence. It would be in the best children's best interest according to section 7, subsection 1a and section 9 of the Children's Act for children to remain in temporary safe care while further investigation are being made regarding the allegations. Are you sure?
That's correct.
What's section 7 sub 1i? Do you have the act in front of you?
Section 7, the best interest of the child. 1I, any disabilities that the child may have.
Does these children have disabilities?
No, sir, I'll
So
not
you
state
said wrong.
that's a mistake.
Okay.
It was supposed to be section 7, subsection 1, L, paragraph I.
And you also want to remove the children in terms of section 9. What does section 9 state?
Section 9 is the best interest of the child most paramount.
So why do you remove a section, child in terms of that section?
Because the best interest of the child is most paramount in all concerning the care and the protection and the well-being of the child.
Now I'll keep asking once again, why did you not use the prescribed form?
That would have been a mistake, sir.
Well, I can say. I could even pick up spelling mistakes in your headings. Heading number 2. Is this the type of documents that you would like to present to court?
No, sir.
Tell me, whose present care is the minor child? Or once they were removed?
They are in the care of Boitumelo.
Where is that? Because I see it's neglected from the form as well.
It's in the form 36.
Was it on your report?
Well, in the report it states that the child is placed in Jacaranda Children's Home.
Okay. You go to your next page, family composition. Why is it that you do not deem it important enough for the court to be familiar with this document, or what the family composition is?
May I ask for the attorney to repeat the question?
Please repeat the question.
Why do you not deem it important enough for the court to fully understand the family composition? Are you trying to hide something from court?
No. I have stated the children concerned, the biological parents, and the grandparents that the children live with.
Okay. Alternative caregivers?
Alternative caregivers will be the maternal grandfather and maternal grandmother.
So would you be happy to place the child in alternative care of the grandfather?
No.
Okay. Now if I can proceed to your sources of information. Use your sources of information.
My sources of information is Mr. Piet Steenkamp and Annette Blom.
Okay? Why is there all history inserted in there? Subparagraph, well, bullet points 2, 3 and 4.
It was part of their allegations. It was to show the court on which grounds, addition to the risk that the children concerned may be at risk should they stay in that household.
I'll put it to you, it's completely irrelevant for your sources of information. Do you agree?
I don't think so.
Now tell me, would you be surprised if I told you that it's my instruction that my client said the only reason that Mr. Pitt and Mrs. Annette is upset in laying these accusations is because they had a fight and he threatened to remove them from his will?
I cannot comment on that.
Would that change your mind if you knew about it?
I would reconsider.
Thank you. Now once again, I also refer to your family profile. What's the children's physical factors and health?
The children's physical,
Factors and health.
those cannot be commented at the moment, but the children seem healthy.
Okay, why can't it be commented on?
Because I've required for further investigation so I can have clear clarification of that.
We just referred to your sources of information. Who are they?
My sources of information are Piet Steenkamp and Blom Annette.
How are they related?
They are the maternal aunt and uncle of the children concerned.
Would they be in a position to inform you of any illnesses?
Yes, they were.
Why wasn't it obtained or asked about?
It was, and the children seemed healthy.
No, I'm telling you, you're not being truthful to the court. Because you fabricated this document. If you had not fabricated and used the document supplied to court, you would have known to include this information. What's your response?
I don't have a response to that.
Where did you remove this children? From where?
I removed the children from 2 Pianet Street, Garston.
Whose house was that?
That's the maternal mother, the biological mother, and the maternal grandfather and grandmother's house.
Was this set up with the house?
I have not been to the house.
But maybe just testify that you moved the children from that house. How can you now come and tell the court you haven't been there?
The children were at school when I removed them. I
Okay,
went-
so now they were at school.
The children were at school when I removed them. I then went to the house and they did not let me in. The biological mother did not let me in the house.
Well, I'm submitting that you've changed your version twice now. What special circumstances did you consider?
That the children are removed from their home and placed at Jacaranda Children's Home.
Okay. I'm sure this also slipped your mind, but I see that there's quite an important section, children concerned. Why wasn't that subparagraph not even included? Can I take it to mean that the children aren't important enough at this stage?
That will be incorrect.
Well, you failed to include that.
Please respond, Ms. Whittaker.
I have no response to that.
No. I'll put it to you as well. The court does not know their physical, their psychological, their residential, or their schooling, because it wasn't included. How can the court make a decision?
The schooling was included, it was just not included under that heading.
Please indicate where it is discussed.
Under family profile.
Page.
That'll be on page 4.
Couple of last questions. Which court are you asking to intervene in this matter?
The courts of Vanderbilt Park.
Where is the children residing?
The children were, as they've been removed, they're residing at Jacaranda Children's Home
Where is that?
in Vienna.
In Vienna. And where were they residing previously?
In Clear School.
Your worship, I ask that the matter be dismissed as the court does not have any jurisdiction on this matter as well.
Thank you, Kuduma. Well done. Okay, that's a very good point. Remember jurisdiction. All right. Do you understand what just happened? Okay, she said she's removing the children from Vereniging, I think, yes. She's placing them in Clarksdorp, but she's addressing her report to the children's court in Vanderbilt Park. So that would not even have gone through right from the beginning. Always the children's residence determine jurisdiction. All right. Strength and weakness, Mr. Vanderbilt.
Okay. Testify confidently. I'm happy with that. Contradicted yourself when you got a bit nervous. That's a weakness. Tell the truth. If you don't know, I don't know. Okay.
But you also did very well for a first time.
Very well.
Good. Next person is.
Must I take it up a notch? Not
Yes,
yet.
definitely.
No?
Please do.
Am I being too lenient?
Yes.
Okay.
Kumalu.
No, you have no idea. Not yet.
This Kumalu, it's you, huh? Okay. I see there's one thing so far you guys are forgetting is that you don't have to look at the attorney. You must look at me. And the two of you who've done it now, you've been totally eye-locked with this person who wants to intimidate you. Look at me when you answer, alright?
Remember, you don't need to convince me. You need to convince the magistrate. Okay.
Alright.
Sir,
Good day.
you removed minor children. When did you receive notice of this report?
I received the report on the 25th March 2016.
When did you remove the children? What time?
It was at 4 o'clock afternoon.
At 4 o'clock.
Yes, worship.
So you removed the children at 4 o'clock.
Yes, worship.
1600 hours, am I correct? No, I don't want any misunderstanding.
Yes, worship.
Okay. When did you inform the mother that you removed these children?
I informed the mother, yes, at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Yes, around that time.
Now I quickly want you to go back. Do you have all your documents in front of you?
Yes, worship.
You have a Form 36.
Yes, worship.
Explain to me how the children were placed in temporary safe care at Charlotte Abrams an hour before you removed them.
I would ask the court for the attorney to repeat the question.
Please repeat the question.
So it's not a difficult question. Please pay attention.
Okay.
You remove the children you've put the children into a place of safety an hour before you remove them. Did you explain that?
I've removed the worship, I've removed the children, then I took place of safety at Jacaranda. Then I went back at the home so that the mother can sign after removing the child.
Let me refer you back to your testimony as you just testified to court under oath, and I remind you. Your testimony read, I removed the children at 4. I was very explicit. I asked you numerous times if you're sure that's the time, and you said yes. You intend on changing your statement?
Yes, Worship. That moment.
Huh. So I put it to you, you're not being truthful to court. But I'll move on for that for now. I'd like to move to your Form 38. Move to your paragraph E, family profile. From my approach, witness worship.
Yes.
Can you read all the subheadings in family profile for me?
Family profile, the first number 1 is family background, the family structure, the family relationship, physical factors and health, psychological factors, housing and the environment.
Okay.
Then religious and cultural aspect, socio-cultural aspect, financial aspect. That's all worship.
Okay. Do you think you've addressed that sufficiently?
I only stated the family structure worship, the religious and cultural aspect worship, and financial aspect worship, because that's the only information I've got so far is worship.
What about the relationship and the schooling of the children?
It hasn't been stated on the affidavit worship, the family and the schooling of the children.
So you remove children without doing proper investigation?
I've removed the children according to the affidavit that I have received. I cannot only remove the I cannot only make my own stories. Yes, that's why I recommend that the court allows me to investigate the matter fairly.
Why did you not report on the other factors, such as schooling?
Because the worship at the moment, I only considered the best interest of the child. I only focused on removing the child to place of safety.
Why did you not consider the schooling?
I don't have the answer to that question.
In which place of safety did you place the children?
At Jacaranda Children's Home worship.
Where is it located?
Fifth, 5 Smith Street, Potchefstroom worship.
So you relocated the children from Taxel to Potchefstroom, is that correct?
Yes.
You didn't even consider the schooling. Did you consider any other places perhaps closer by?
Please answer the question.
Can I have the question repeated, Your Worship?
Please repeat the question.
Did you investigate any alternative places of safety that closer by?
No, Your Worship. I only considered this one worship.
Why?
Because it's the only place I know worship.
You must have an assignment. Did you consider the views of the children? Did you consider the views of the children?
No, Your Worship, I didn't consider.
Why not?
Because Your Worship, I only wanted to remove the child to the place of safety when I could investigate further. So there was not enough time for the children to be at that home because it wasn't safe for them to be.
Now tell me, Mrs. Elsie, you're referring in your report to what she said.
Yes.
Now, she provided you with any affidavits?
Your Worship, those were the words from Mr. Pete and Mrs. Annette, and it has been stated on the affidavit. The words that Mrs. Elsie has said has been stated on the affidavit, which is
Okay, so then I'm going to interrupt you there. So you refer into a report to inadmissible evidence, to hearsay evidence.
an affidavit is not an hearsay evidence.
Okay. I quickly want to stop here as well with regards to hearsay evidence. Does anyone know what it is? Huh? Is it admissible in a court? Okay. So if I tell you my friend told me that he just ran over someone, is that allowable evidence? Okay, because someone else told me, he didn't tell me. I wasn't there, I can't explain, I can't testify to it. Okay, just a brief overview.
But an affidavit?
Yeah. No, you've got, even if it refers to hearsay evidence, it
Still.
won't be admissible.
Really?
I can't tell you someone else told me that they saw people doing this. That's why I'm referring to it and say it's a suspicion. I'll get you how we respond to it just now. Okay. So tell me, in your report,
Guys,
so in your report, can you tell me what measures have you taken to assist the family? Or your recommendations thereon?
Your Worship, my recommendation is that the children be placed to safety, place of safety at Jacaranda.
No, sir. Listen to my question. What measures have you taken to assist the family? What's your recommendation on that?
Or there are no measures at the moment, but I've recommended that the court to allow me to investigate and make measures to assist the family.
Is there any private family agreement or arrangements that can be made?
No.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good work, well done. My comments to each of you will be on your rubric, which you will get later, all right? One strength, one weakness, and then just the comment on the affidavits, please.
No. Okay, weakness, you get nervous. Being pressed into a corner a bit. And I haven't even taken that full notch. I've just got a bit more aggressive. Okay,
Strength,
strength as well. Stand by what you say. Okay. Even though I cross-examine you and say, listen, wrong time. It's not a sin to say I made a mistake. You stick by what you said and say, listen, I made a mistake. I first did this. It's allowed to say. Rectify. Don't leave it hanging. Because if you leave it hanging, that's the last impression someone's got. Okay.
not delivering affidavits, and those in the form.
Yes, so.
I just like to ask specifically the affidavit. When you make an affidavit, it's kind of like storing an over. So in the sense that if you lied, if the police find out that you lied in the affidavit, you can get arrested for that, right?
Yes.
So why is it not admissible in court? Because it's as good as a law.
The affidavit is admissible.
Yes.
No, the affidavit is admissible, you use it. But what is said in the affidavit and what was the line of question? You heard someone else say this. That part, I was taking exception to. Okay, not the fact that they said they noticed it. You guys must remember as well, what we're doing here is very short. I have as much time with you as I want because it's a court proceeding. I can drag it out for a week. So you could be standing here for a week. Okay. So it's a short idea, but normally I would go about cross-examining this. I'll first make sure to cover all the back doors. And then I'm going to start grilling you. Because then I'm going to say, so you just said this. So he's lying now. This is a short idea of what it feels like to be cross-examined. But the actual cross-examination can take a day and longer.
But this is also just to get you used to the feeling of standing your ground. Because sometimes in children's court, there will be a moment, a short moment, where the lawyer will say something, ask something, the presiding officer will say to you, but just explain this. So maybe in the future we will expand on this whole activity. But what's very important is that you just get the feeling of explaining what you write and making sure it's accurate. Alright, the three of you did very well so far. Okay, next up.
If I can remember last year, they were much more nervous and passed out.
Yeah, so this group is a strong group. They give me all my hell in class as well, Mr. Vanneberg. Cheeky bunch. Alright, next person.
Is baby
Kumar, is it
Kupani.
Kupani? Yes.
Correct.
Right.
What are you doing, man?
Okay, so thank you.
Tell me, did you remove these children?
Sorry?
Did you remove these children?
Yes, I will.
Since of which form?
Form 36.
Do you have the form 36 with you?
Music.
Neither do I. So in terms of what regulation did you remove these children?
In terms of regulation 55.
It's not before court.
Just an insert, did you see my announcement on Ifundi that some students uploaded their documents on the wrong version and it was undownloadable?
Your worship, I submitted twice the hard copy and the Ifundi one.
We have
Oh, Your Worship, in this case, I'll ask that the matter be dismissed and that the social worker be investigated for improper conduct.
Do you have anything to say to that, Mr. Kupani? Explain yourself.
Your Honor, firstly, I'd like to apologize to the court. I submitted 2 documents, so I think the court received this one that doesn't have the form 36, and I asked that I asked for the court to postpone for 2 days.
I'll object to that, Your Worship. It's severely prejudicing my client as well as my children. But I'll move
Let's
on from
proceed
this.
as if it is there. There must have been some mistake because everything I received I gave to Mr. Vanneberg. But you did say the first, the second. Always make sure first time you do the right thing from the first time. Alright? Lesson learned. Don't worry. Not going to affect your mark. It's okay.
Family structure is residing on the property. Who's residing on the property?
Who's
Residing in the property, staying at the property.
which property?
Ma'am, are Well, you're not even aware why you're here today. Have you prepared
I
at all?
was. Yes, I did prepare.
So why are you here today?
I am in the children's court in Fanadano Park
For what?
to ask the court to grant me permission to do further investigation on the case
What
of
case, ma'am?
sexual abuse.
What? From Pete Pompies?
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm sure. Well, let me move on to that.
Wait. Okay, wait. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at you. Do you know what Pete Pompies is? Who's Pete Pompies on the case? There's no such person.
Okay.
Guys, and you guys are being naughty. Please keep quiet. It's very disrespectful. I'm going to start subtracting marks for people who behave like this. You don't giggle, you don't laugh, you sit, you keep quiet, and you learn. My dear, I need you to calm down. Okay, relax. Listen to what he's saying. Because he's making fun of you now, and you are saying yes. And that is what a real attorney will do. What's happening at the moment, you are admitting to role players who do not even exist in this matter. Okay, so I need you to take a deep breath. Go out. Okay, listen. And if he speaks of a name that you don't know, you say you don't know who you are talking about. All right. Okay. Front row, keep quiet there.
I've seen your report and I'll refer you to it. That you state that Mr. Saki and Mrs. Elsie Steenkamp are the owners of the house and breadwinners. Am I correct?
Yes, correct.
So both of them are employed.
No, only Mr. Stenkamp, Mr. Saki.
Okay. So what do you mean when saying Mrs. Elsie is a breadwinner?
Because it's his wife. It's his wife, so they both breadwinners.
Okay. Now let's quickly run through, I'm not going to get you everything, but your determination. Did you remove the children?
Yes, I did.
What was the factors when you considered when you removed the children?
I considered that the lives of the children might be at risk because of the allegations of sexual abuse. So that is why.
Is that the only reason?
Yes, and again, that the Mr. Pitt Stenkamp and Annette Blom stated in their affidavit that the mother knows
In what?
affidavit
Hmm?
that the mother knows about the sexual abuse, and the mother, when she was asked, she said that there's nothing she can do because Mr. Saki is the breadwinner and they'll have no food or money to survive.
Okay. Have you ever considered section 153? You have that in front of you.
No.
She didn't consider that at all.
I considered section 151